Hello and welcome back to another demo video. What I wanted to do was we had some requests for for problem 7-4A. So I'm going to work on 7-4B. That's just the bank reconciliation. What I did was I just went ahead and kind of created a bank reconciliation here. Kind of just used one of the exhibits from the book. And then before I went and did anything and plugged any numbers in, I just went ahead and put in the verbiage, right? So these are some things that are kind of things that we just need to know, right? So remember, the bank reconciliation compares the bank balance from the bank statement to our ledger, right? So we have cash in our ledger. We have the ending balance from the bank. Those two aren't going to match. That's okay. The reason why they're not going to match is because there's some things that we've recorded in our books that the bank has not accounted for. There's some things in the bank statement that the bank has accounted for that we have not, right? So we got to reconcile and make sure the balance of our cash and the balance of the bank statement after we manipulate some things match, okay? So here's one thing we need to know, right? We always start, let's look at just the bank statement side. We always start with the ending bank balance. And as you could see, I went ahead and put in our bank balance already. The problem said that we got a bank statement. The ending balance at May 31st was $7,868.50, okay? To this, we're always going to add deposits in transit, right? Deposits in transit means we recorded them on our books. We said we have a deposit for X amount of money. We're taking this to the bank, okay? There's some crossover, meaning as we're taking this to the bank, this deposit, the bank is sending us our bank statement. That cash balance that the bank says we have does not reflect any deposits in transit, okay? On the bank side, we always have to subtract out outstanding checks from the bank balance, okay? What that means is we have written checks to suppliers, to our purveyors, whoever. We just wrote checks out, right, for things that we need. The bank has not received notice of these checks, meaning we wrote the check out on our side, okay, the general ledger side. We deducted that check amount from our balance, from our cash balance. We sent it to that company or that supplier. That supplier has not taken that check to the bank and presented the check to the bank for payment. So the bank, our bank, doesn't know that we have a check outstanding. We need to account for that. It's in our books. It's not represented on this bank statement. So we need to subtract out any outstanding checks. Okay? Let's look at our side, the ledger side, right? Sometimes a bank will collect on our behalf, right? Maybe we have some receivables. Someone goes straight to the bank and says, hey, I owe so-and-so some money. Here's their money. Put it in their account, right? The bank will do that. They'll collect on our behalf. They have it on their books, on their bank statement, right? Their bank statement reflects the fact that they collected money on our behalf. We do not have that. We need to put it in our books. Obviously, the bank is going to charge us a fee for this. Think that fee is represented in the bank statement? Yep, sure is. It is not in our books, so we need to account for that in our books. Any interest we earn from maybe CDs or deposits, or sometimes banks are nice and say, hey, if you hold X amount of cash and have an X balance, we'll pay you interest on that. Well, that interest is noted on the bank statement. We don't have it in our books. We need to put it in our books, okay? Sometimes the bank's going to charge us fees, right? These fees, we haven't recorded them yet in our books. So they're not reflected in our ending cash balance. Guess what? They sure are on our bank statement balance. Things like errors that we make in non-sufficient fund checks, right? Maybe we don't know about this and the bank does. The bank accounts for that in their ending balance. We need to adjust our books. Okay? So let's just go through all 7 of these. So the first one says deposits in transit May 31st totaled $2,603.05. That means that we made a deposit, we recorded it on our books, sent it to the bank. In the meantime, while that deposit is on its way to the bank sends us a statement. This balance on the statement does not reflect that deposit in transit, so we need to add it to the bank balance. So I'm going to add $2,603.05. Okay? And then I'm just going to put a little subtotal here, right? So I'm going to auto sum these. Okay? And then number 2 says outstanding checks May 31st totaled $3,077.25. These outstanding checks, we have them on our books. The bank doesn't know that they're outstanding because whoever we wrote the checks to didn't take them to the bank. So we need to get them out of our bank balance, right? On the bank side, this balance does not reflect these outstanding checks. We know they're outstanding. So I'm going to subtract out my $3,077.25. So what is the reconciliated balance now? Well, it's our $10,471.55. That's what's available, minus the outstanding checks that we have recorded, the bank does not. Our bank balance is now $7,394.30. Now we turn to the book side, okay? And they tell us that the bank added to the account $19.80 of interest earned by Wallace during May. So when we're looking at the bank balance, when we're looking at the ledger balance, okay, we need to account for what does the bank have recorded that we do not. Okay, and we can get that from the details of the bank balance or the bank statement. So we have interest earned. We have $19.80. Okay, we earned interest during the month. The bank has that added to their balance on the bank statement. We do not. We need to put that in there. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4 says the bank collected a $2,400 note receivable for Wallace and charged a $30 collection fee. Both items appear on the bank statement. So that means that the bank collected money for us and they withheld a fee. That's reflective in this reflected in this ending balance on the bank statement. It is not reflected in our books. So we need to add that. So we have the $2,400 that they collected on our behalf, minus the $30 fee that they charged us. So I'm going to take my $2,400, subtract out my fee, collection fee. I get $2,370. So this $2,370 is in my ending bank balance. It is not in my books. I need to put that in my books. Okay? So then I'm going to add everything up that I have so far. I'm going to take my beginning balance plus my the notes receivable they collected minus the fee plus that interest that I earned. So I have $8,389.85 available. Okay? And then I look and I see, okay, well, the bank, look at number 5, bank service charges in addition to the collection fee not yet recorded were $40. So this bank charged me $40 probably just for the fact of having a card or having a bank account and all that stuff, right? They got to make their money, so they charge us a fee. That fee is represented in the bank ending balance. We didn't know about it. We're just finding out of the fact they charge us the $40 fee. We need to subtract it, and we need to put it in our books, okay? Look at number 6. Included with the return check is a memo indicating that L. Ryder check for $686 had been returned non-sufficient funds. Ryder, a customer, had sent the check to pay an account of $700 less a 2% discount. Okay, so what happened? What happened was Ryder sent us a check for $686 to satisfy what they owed us, right? We took that check. We said we have a deposit. We recorded it on our books. We sent it to the bank. The bank did their thing, right? Comes back. That check was no good. They didn't have enough. Ryder didn't have enough cash. That amount is reflected in this bank balance. Okay? Meaning it's not in our bank balance, which it should not be. We have it recorded as if, yeah, we have this deposit. The bank's just telling us right now, you don't have $686 from Ryder. So I need to delete that. Or I'm sorry, I need to subtract that. Okay? And then the last thing says that, number 7, Wallace Company incorrectly recorded the payment of an account payable as $360. The check was for $630. So what we have here is we just have an error, right? We paid a check. We wrote a check for someone for $630. When we went to record it in our books, we only recorded it as $360. So we transposed the numbers, okay? We're catching this. Our bank balance is $270 higher than it should be, okay? So we need to subtract this out. Yeah, because we said it was $360. The check was for $630. So our balance in our ledger is too high. We need to bring it down by the difference, which is $270. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and add up all these service charges and fees and errors, and I get $996. Okay? So now the next thing I need to do is subtract the cash that I have available per my balance minus the corrections that I just made based on service fees, return check, and an error. These two match now. So this is my reconciliated bank balance. So how much cash do I have? I have $7,393.85. That includes all the errors that I made. That includes all the things that the bank has in their balance that I don't. So we reconciled. Okay? Now the next thing we need to do, I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to we need to journal entry these, right? Part B. Why did that not? Oh, sorry about that. Part B says, okay, you identified everything, great. Now do the journal entries that we need to bring the cash in the bank account in agreement with the reconciled cash balance on the bank reconciliation. This is actually pretty easy to do. So I'm just making a little debit and credit journal here. Okay, so let's look at the first thing we have to do, right? The first thing we have to do in our bank account is we need to note or journal the collection, right? Number 4, the bank collected a note receivable in Wallace, charged a $30 collection fee. So we got cash, and we'll just say cash in bank, for the $2370 that they collected on our behalf. They charged us the fee, right? So we're going to have to say, I would charge this as a bank fee, We could use miscellaneous fee, but it's from the bank, so I'm okay with that. $30. This person, L. Ryder, does not owe us a note anymore. So I'm going to credit notes receivable for the $2,400 that they owed us. Okay? Basically, someone's collecting on our behalf. We're just recording it. Okay? That's one we have to do. The next thing we need to do is we need to book number 3, the interest, right? So I'm going to say cash in bank, $19.80. And this is interest income that we're earning. So I'm going to credit interest income, $19.80. Okay? The next thing we need to book is the bank charge that they charged us, right? They charged us $40. So I'm going to say bank fee. Actually, let's say bank fee expense for $40. And I'm going to credit cash in bank. Now, I know I'm saying cash in bank. This is not another account. We're actually hitting our cash account, okay? The reason why I wrote cash in bank, I just want you to recognize that the cash is in the bank. We're trying to bring the balance of our cash on our account to that reconciled amount of $7,394.30, okay? So I'm going to credit cash $40. The next thing we need to worry about is the accounts receivable for L. Ryder, right? We sent a cash check to him, or he sent us a cash check to satisfy a receivable. Guess what? That check bounced. So guess what we need to do? We need to reinstate that receivable. We need to show that the receivable that we previously credited is now going to be debited, and the cash that we previously debited now has to be credited. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to debit AR for the total amount, which was the $700. Okay? He got a sales discount. That sales discount, he doesn't get that anymore, right? So I'm going to credit sales discount for the 2%, which was $14. And then I'm also going to credit my cash for $686, right? We originally had that booked as cash in on our books. The bank informed us that we do not have that cash, so we need to get it out of our books, okay? The fact that we don't have this $686 from Ryder is reflected in the cash balance on the bank statement, okay? And then the last thing we need to do is recognize that we made a check error, right? We recorded a check for $630, but the check was for $630. We said it was for $360, right? So we're too low. Or I'm sorry, we're too high. We need to get that cash out of our bank statement, or we need to get that cash out of our ledger, okay? So I'm going to debit AP for $270. That's a difference between the error, or that's a difference in the error. And then I'm going to credit cash $270, okay? Basically what we did here is originally we wrote a check for we booked the check for $360. It should have been for $630. So we're just bringing that, we're doing the correcting entry to show that instead of it being $360, it's actually $630. Okay? And that is Problem 7-4. So if you have any more questions after this, please feel free to reach out to me. Totally not a problem. I'd be happy to explain it to you and go over some things with you in more detail if you need. Thanks, and have a great day.